What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the data points, what's moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is down 1.2%, 21.07 the low, 22.19 the high, and somewhat low volume. So 5.04 million shares being traded, 11.8 is the average. So it's not just Lucid, is pretty much happening across the board that we are experiencing lower and lower volume. And a lot of that is just because of broader fears. So we did see recently about $19.84 billion leave both crypto and equity to go back to money markets, leaving a grand total of $7.39 trillion sitting in money markets, waiting for clearly the green light for them to cycle back in. We did have some data that did come out early this morning. Michigan consumer sentiment came in at 55, forecast of 54. Generally good stuff. Because of this, you did see the likelihood of a cut move up slightly. So now there's 96.7% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut for the upcoming October 29th meeting. In my opinion, this still has not been fully priced in yet. Most likely over the next week and a half, that will be done. But markets somewhat freaking out because of this. And so Trump is thinking about increasing tariffs on China, also canceled the meeting going into next week. And just generally, China has been very hostile to us and other countries on rare earth minerals. So this is one thing that has rather surprised me, is the fact that Lucid is holding up very well. So right now it is below the 50-day moving average. So generally that shows more of a technical breakdown, but we see a lot of stocks that's even on my watch list down 5+%. So Lucid is doing very well. Even Tesla's down 4.01%. So we've seen in, I think a couple quarters ago, the whole magnet type of scenario. Mark did mention in a interview that a lot of that came because of China and the whole rare earth mineral type of issue. And so for Trump to really be stating rare earth minerals goes to show that things aren't really going well. Mark mentioned that to rectify that whole magnet scenario, they found a kind of temporary solution, but still this is possibly a insight that might affect Lucid in Q4. So we'll have to wait and see how their upcoming earnings and what they give for future guidance, but this might be a tentative red flag for Lucid. But I think the market hasn't caught on just yet and pieced two and two together because, like I said, Lucid's doing fairly good. Nothing really coming out from Lucid, no SEC filings, no press releases. Even on social media, they're still keeping up their just very symbolic photos, nothing really crazy. So there hasn't been any massive catalyst lately, so we'll just have to wait and see, and hopefully in their upcoming earnings they do kind of point to more partnerships, because they need something. They need to really incentivize some buying. And I think generally Lucid's done fairly well recently despite the lack of catalysts, but I'll go over the technicals and so forth in a second. But shorts, right now shorts are returning 190,000 shares. 30.73% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 39.01 million shares overall being shorted. Cost to borrow average kind of in line, so 15.23, and then short score is 78.59. DTC still very high, 3.23 days, so that does signal that shorts are rather overextended. Looking at the options, 571,000 in the calls, 324,000 in the puts, then 48% of all the options being done are bearish in nature. Coming from a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be still above 22, even going into next week. Bears are anticipating for it to be kind of sub, looks like 21 for today, and then even going into next week. With today being Friday, just take note of this. So where Lucid is currently at, so right now it is trading at 21.41. We don't really see any crazy walls, so this is a very small open interest, so you're not going to see any gamma squeeze, not going to see anything at all. So it is what it is. These are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So this hands down is the reason why Lucid is holding up, because institutions are buying. So something, or unless somebody knows something, I'm not really sure, but a lot of stocks out there are getting a overwhelming amount of selling from institutions, not buying. So every single one of these is a buy. 2.1 million, 1.3 million. So someone, like I said, knows something. It's kind of crazy. So if you guys know of a upcoming catalyst that maybe I'm not aware of, let me know in the comments below. On the dark pool, these are all the transactions. So the highest for on this exchange is 868,000. This is often enough used by shorts as well as hedge funds. So goes to show that hedge funds might be doing something. Shorts aren't really doing all that much today, so kind of crazy stuff. But right now with it at 21.43, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 21.19 is going to be that strong support. Did momentarily break below that, but clearly it bounced off of that. So 21.19 is a strong support. 24.73 is going to be the next strong target. This is the one-day chart, so very strong support and resistance points. I think it is very premature to start talking about that 24.70 range. So right now and for the next couple of trading days, just watch for that 21.19. Aside from all of that though, on the actual chart, like I said, it's kind of breaking down a little bit. Surprisingly, actually, I thought that we were below that 50-day moving average. Yesterday, it looks like we broke below it. Was able to close above it. Today, so it is 21.44, so we're about 3 cents below that right now. So we'll kind of wait and see how that does play out, if we bounce off of that and then really trend higher. But that 50-day moving average seems to be holding up like a champ. Looking at the market position though, comparing today versus yesterday, not really that much change in all honesty. But like I said, Lucid's holding up very well. Looking at this right here, the flow, you see a lot of large transactions. So even that does stand out, that some institutions seem to be buying for whatever reason. Algos, of course, are kind of probably adding a certain level of suppression to Lucid though. Nothing significant, but still Lucid, I think, is doing something right. Nothing really crazy for news, so no SEC filings, no press releases, no speculative topics being brought up. A couple of Seeking Alpha articles just talking about rare earth minerals and how that affects EVs. So some people behind the scenes are piecing 2 and 2 together, but no new analyst ratings or anything like that. So Lucid's definitely doing fairly well. One thing to take note of though is because of the recent push lower from the high of 25.23, it is very oversold. So maybe that might be working in Lucid's favor to actually hold it up, but definitely deserving of a round of applause. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Are you buying? Are you selling? What do you think, for instance, of this right here? Like, I feel like it's been a good solid couple weeks that we haven't really heard anything of crazy substance from Trump. Occasionally we see kind of things here and there, but he's been very quiet. So for this to come out of left field on a Friday, I don't think anyone was really expecting that at all, and let alone China. So again, I don't anticipate a crazy push lower similar to what happened in April, but you never know on how this could really escalate. So I think people are automatically assuming the worst. So let me know your thoughts on just Lucid, the broader market. One final thing though, pop over to my Patreon if you are looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. I put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.